All right. I always try to change things up in our practice just a little bit. I think it's good to keep ourselves sharp and interested in what we're doing and connected to ourselves and one another the best that we can. So, starting today in child's pose, but start with your knees together if that's available to you. And if you're just joining, I try and do as much as I physically can to give you a example until I'm about to fall on my face. So we do this together, feet together, knees together, and come into a child's pose with your arms close. Yeah, your arms are close, your hands, your thumbs are together, and your forehead, it may or may not make it to the ground when you do it this way. And be okay with that. And if it's really uncomfortable, you can even rest your forehead on a block. The block would have to go the long direction though, so your thumbs could touch. And if this does not feel good for your shoulders, then by all means, you just reach your arms back and you settle in here. So the goal at the moment is to have the feet together and the knees together so that the tops of my feet are down on the ground. If you have an ankle injury, then you're on your back in Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a giant breath in through your nose. And take a really loud exhale breath out through your mouth. Press all the air out. And we try to use Ujjayi breath throughout the practice. So that's inhalation through the nose, followed by a really clean, sharp exhalation through the nose. So not breathing through the mouth. Good. From here, separate your hands shoulder width distance, curl the toes into the mat and come up to a down dog. Downward facing dog. When you come to this first down dog this morning, feet are about hips width distance, hands are the width of the mat, and index fingers are forward, as well as the creases of the wrist. So it's good to just like kind of look around and make sure that your real estate, which is your body, is set up. Bend your knees, both of them. Yep, just a little bit. And lift your hips up off your shoulders. Let your head be free. So your knees are bent. Everybody's knees are bent, even if you have a lot of flexibility in your hamstrings. Everybody has bent knees this morning. And you're breathing your hips up off your shoulders. Yep, perfect, Julie. So you could always have your forearms down. The practice is all about you. So, you know, I'm here, I create a flow. We try and follow it, but there's ways around it always to make this work. So your knees are still bent and you're just breathing and your heels are mostly lifted, most likely lifted. Now, keep your left leg a little bit bent, but bend your right leg deeper. So it's gonna look like this. So your legs are bent, but this leg, the right leg bends, and then you're gonna start to straighten your left leg. So your right leg is bent and your left leg is straight, and you're seeing if you can kind of mount your left heel down. It may or may not touch. Good, and then straighten your right leg and bend your left. So it's kind of like you're running in place. Let your head be free, plug the hands down, the thumb, the index finger. And now straighten your left leg and see if you grew any space, any difference here. And if you need to go back to bent knees, that's fine. Spread your toes wide. It's going to activate the shins. And then roll forward to plank. And the first down dog to plank, you may need to kind of walk it out. Yeah, so your shoulders are over elbows are over wrists, the belly draws in. And if you get here and strength is not on your side right now, you just drop your knees. And this is a great way to be. And you plug down to create space for yourself and intensity. And you let your breath just kind of run through the crown of your head to your heels and then let it wrap back up. Broaden across the upper shoulder blades. It almost feels like you're pulling your shoulders apart. And as you pull your shoulders apart, there's a wrapping in of your outer arms. Yeah. Your dristi, also known as your focus, just a little bit forward. And then I'll encourage you this morning to bring your weight forward onto your tippy toes. We're still holding. So if you need to make little modifications to make this work, do it. Almost feel like you're leading with your chest, not with your head or your neck. Your neck is forward, your head is forward, but you're not leading with it. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Your hands and feet have mostly found their place at this point. Roll forward plank. Yeah. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Bend your elbows in half or drop your knees for supported Chaturanga. So less is more always in this practice. Draw the navel in, contract the thighs, re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hips up and back, downward facing. So if you couldn't get out of it, then you definitely want to modify. Try it again, roll forward plank. Even if you're just holding here, something is happening. Bend your elbows in half, a lot or a little, but don't go further than your shoulders. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat. Take 2 big steps to get there this morning. 1, 2. Long spine. Hands can also rest to the front of the shins if you can't quite make it. Exhale, fold, let your head go. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor yourself. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. So know the option to practice with your feet apart a little is there for you. If you prefer them together, then you do that. Arms reach up, look up with your eyes. Dive over bent knees, let your weight move you forward and your head go down. Come to the fingertips, long spine, hands to touch something. 2 big steps get you back to a plank. Then lower halfway to a Chaturanga. See if you can really slow it down, break it down. Lead with your heart and chest for your first up dog or baby cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Notice your energy level. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. Maybe you've had too much coffee. Right, whatever it is, it is. Look where you want to go. Take 2 big steps to the top. When you arrive, long spine, hands can rest on your shins too. Exhale, fold over yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor yourself. Drag your hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Keep going just like this. Arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare yourself. Once again, just plant your palms and step to plank. Once you arrive in your plank, decide what you're going for today, Chaturanga or not. Upward facing pulls you through. It is a back bend and a new breath. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Each one gets a little better, at least we tell ourselves that. Look to the top of the mat. You can step, you can float, you can crawl, whatever you need. Long spine, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Again, arms reach up, anchor. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or this time float to your Chaturanga, but don't float back to plank, right? You got to go back to a Chaturanga. Pull yourself through a smooth up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Look to the top of the mat, step or walk your feet or float light. Long spine, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. We'll do one more. Arms reach up. With excitement, dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare, step or float to your Chaturanga. That was nice. Upward facing dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So roll forward to plank position. Yeah, lift your right foot, point your right toes. So your right foot's just hovering the mat. It's not way up high, guys. It's just a little bit from the ground. Fix your eyes forward. Plug down with your hands, draw your navel in. Draw your right knee in towards your navel. Activate your arms. Your arms are straight up and down and your right knee is kind of just drawing in. Keep the breath flowing. Look forward with your eyes. Step your right foot forward into a low lunge. So always know when you come to a low lunge, you always have the option to support by dropping your back knee. Today, I'm going to try and keep my back leg up. My back leg is strong and straight. I'm hugging my right hip in. A block is helpful here if you need it. Hand's going to come down and the right arm will peel up. So just an easy twist, very basic. We want to be mindful of our left shoulder. That's why a block is helpful, or even a tented hand. As you twist, if you notice your right hip kind of winging out, twist a little less and grip your right hip underneath you. Look up a little towards the sky and breathe. So your arms are straight up and down like they would be in a Shavasana, side plank. Your back leg is strong and you're twisting open. Try not to clench, breathe, and allow the body to go where it needs to. Look down, place both hands to the floor, pause. Keep your right foot where it is. Turn your back foot strong on its side, okay? Grab the front right shin and start to straighten the right leg for a triangle. Left arm extends up. So you're working from the ground right here. If you come to this triangle and it doesn't feel great for your lower back, by all means, you pull yourself up, you shorten the stance, and you make it work. So I like front leg has a little bend, and there's kind of a pulling up, like I'm gonna move my pants off my leg. And then the side of my ribs turns a little as my left arm extends up. Feel the feet grounding you. Feel your inner and outer thighs hugging in. And then fix your eyes on one spot and just hold. So we create the posture, we get to the posture, then we hold in the posture so the body can really reap its benefits. Stay with it, a couple more breaths. There's a sensation that you're leaning back a little, but you're not going into your lower spine, so be careful. Look down, place both hands back to the floor. The right foot's not gonna move. You're just gonna pivot the left foot again. Grip your right hip in, so you're on the ball of your back foot, your hands are down. Turn your back foot strong on its side for a warrior one foot. Grip your right hip underneath you. So your feet are about hips width distance, the left thigh turns, the arms now reach back and you hover. Yep, perfect. So you're just hovering in warrior one. Everyone looks so excited and happy. There you go. Steer your right hip back. Yeah, it's the same me. It's just through the screen. Yeah, I got the same bad sense of humor. Left thigh rotates forward, left ribs rotate. Press down and then rise up, warrior one. And when you come up to this warrior one, you may notice that you have a little bit more room to slide your right foot forward, and that's okay. Get out of your lower back, draw your belly in and really anchor. Look up with your eyes, or maybe your hands can even join in a little prayer over the top. And just feel your way through the poses. Hands to the floor, lean onto your left hand right into a Shavasana side plank here, guys. You can drop your bottom knee right underneath your hip if you want a little extra support. Your left hand's about an inch in front of you, so you're finding that sweet spot. This can be a nice modification. Or you can stack your 2 feet on top of one another. Lift from your bottom hip, drive the right arm up, then look up with your eyes. Be careful not to let your right hip peel open. It stacks directly over your bottom hip any way you choose to do this, even if you're on your forearm. Lift a little higher. Plank position. Bend your elbows in half for a Chaturanga if that's available. Drag yourself to a nice smooth up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to a plank. Lift your left foot, point your toes. Pause. Arms are straight up and down, belly's hugging in, back right leg is strong. And then from here, keeping your eyes fixed, hug your left knee in. Make the action of just hugging the leg in. Press the hands firm. Keep looking forward. Draw the belly towards the back of the spine. Keep looking forward. Land your left foot all the way forward. Big step. Decide if you need that back knee down today. Right hand comes to the floor or a block. Left arm peels. Grip your left hip underneath you. It has a tendency, at least I know mine does, to want to like wing out. Yeah, alignment is everything in these poses. Stack the 2 shoulders and twist. Back leg is strong and straight if you're going for the full deal. Stay with it. Look down, take both hands to frame your front foot. Keep your left foot where it is. Turn your back foot strong. So you line them up. Left hand to your shin, right arm peels open, right from the ground into a triangle. Watch that your left shoulder doesn't turn in. It slides right down the back. You peel yourself into this from the ground up. It's really nice. You almost like, it's not like you're not even using your bottom hand. Side ribs nice and long. Anchor through your feet and your legs. And then just look up and settle in. The feeling of leaning back a little bit, but staying out of that lower back. 3 more breaths. Press stronger through your back foot. You may find more space, more room. 1 more big breath. Look down, circle both hands down. Keep your left foot where it is. Peel your right foot. You're back in that lunge. Yeah. Turn your back foot strong on an angle. Your feet are about hips width. Steer your left hip back and reach your arms back. Hover. So if you're ever unsure, you can always take your hand and kind of give yourself a manual adjustment and really make sure that this hip stays gripping in. Keep bending into your front thigh. Feel the strength of your back leg. That's the dominating part of the pose. And then root to rise, warrior 1. As you come up to warrior 1, you may find you've got more space. You can slide your foot forward, bend deep into your left thigh, notch your knee, arms reach up, hands can come to a prayer. They can kind of gather together and you can look up a little. If your shoulder doesn't feel great, just have your hands separated. Press strong through the blade of your back right foot. So you get out of your arch and you activate your back leg. Stay with it. Hands to frame your front foot, immediately going to your side plank. Right hand goes flat or forearm can come down. Roll into your Vashisthasana, any variation, whatever you do on your left side though, you should try and recreate here. Get out of your bottom hip and lift both hips up. A little bit more. Nice, Kristen. Look down, plank. Bend your elbows in half if you're taking a Chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Broaden across the collarbone and the chest. From your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Now we get to sit into our lovely chair pose. Move the weight into your heels. This can be done with your feet separated a little if you need that for your low back. Yeah, really move the weight into your heels so your shins slide back. Little natural curve in your lower back. We all have that. Look up a little with your eyes without your neck dropping back. Press up to stand, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Here we go, we're gonna do 3 together. Sun bees, arms reach up, lower your seat into chair. Dive over bent knees, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float through your vinyasa. So your vinyasa may just be going back to a dog today, and that's okay. Upward facing if you're pulling through. Hips up and back, downward facing. From your down dog, or however you're working today, right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior 1. Hands come down to a plank, vinyasa or not. If you are taking the up dog, your legs are strong and your toes are pointed. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns. Your variation, warrior 1. Hands come down, vinyasa. Upward facing dog should feel good if you're experiencing that. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. So now you're just linking your breath and your movement. Press up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Arms drop down. Again, with excitement. Arms reach up. Sit into chair. So don't be afraid. Stick your butt back. Yeah. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine on the inhale, step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog pulls you through. Nice. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Warrior one. Not too fast, not too slow. It's right for you. Bring it back down to the floor. You can move right through a down dog if you prefer. When you arrive back to that down dog, the left foot steps forward, the back foot turns, warrior one. Hands come down through your vinyasa. Hips up and back, down dog. You pause in your downward facing dog. You let your body feel each one of these. Good. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Do it light. Long spine on the inhale. Keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Move the weight into the heels. You got it. Yeah, so your arms, Lauren, could be as wide as they need to, so you feel like your shoulders can open. Right. Shoot up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Last one. Arms reach up nice and big. Sit deep into chair. Yoga is like having an IEP. Anyone has kids with IEP, so it's like the same thing. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Everyone's just individualized. Long spine to prepare. Step or float through a vinyasa. Some of us need more support. Some of us need less support. Up dog. Most of us need support. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Back foot turns. Warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor when you are ready. Chaturanga or not. Some of you want 3 chaturangas. That's fine too. When you arrive in your down dog, left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Hands come to the floor through your vinyasa. Activate your legs in that up dog though. And then hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. You will need a block for the next little sequence, so just have it at the front of your mat or the side of your mat today, okay? So in your downward facing dog, keep your feet its natural distance, which is about hips width, but bring your hands together so your thumbs come together. So this can be done too, Julie, on your forearms. Let your head go. So just take a down dog for a few breaths with your hands together so your thumbs touch. And you may need to bend behind your knees. Let your head just be free. Good. So from here, if you can, float your right leg up, hip height. Balance is going to get a little tricky, so just float it up. It may not go hip height. It might go halfway, but no more than hip height. Plug down through the sides of your body. Fix your eyes on one spot. Flex your right foot strong. Grip your left hip under you. Good. Look forward with your eyes. As you come forward, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So you're kind of in what way I would call a setup for lizard, but we're not going to lizard. Yeah. Turn your back foot strong into warrior two. Keep your right arm pressing inside the right leg. You may need to reach for a block and slide it underneath your right hand as you lean back and you peel open into B variation of extended side angles. If you got lost, that's where we are. Your feet are lined up. You're heel to heel or heel to arch. So if you notice your left foot is kind of like crazy all over the mat, take a second to reset. Stack the 2 shoulders. Yeah. And then play a little bit. So the leaning back into the inside of your right leg, but a gripping in of your outer right hip as you turn your bottom ribs and you look up. If having your left arm up, you feel like you need something else, you can wrap it around and take a half bind today. That's up to you. Your hand can also just be on your hip and you can work here looking over your shoulder. So find a variation you can hold for a few more breaths. If you are going a little deeper into the twist comes from your torso and you look over your left shoulder as you anchor through your feet. Connect, breathe, and just connect. It's just a feeling. If you added an arm into this, like a hand to the hip or the arm around, slide it back up. Meet us there. Good. Anchor through your feet, pull up warrior two. So as you come up to warrior two, you may need to widen your stance. Warrior two. I like my palms facing you, thumbs up, so I can get this nice openness through the chest, a rolling open of my right thigh always, and a lengthening of the tailbone down. And then fix your eyes, maybe even close them. 5 breaths. Opportunity to be free and explore in the posture. Backing out or going in deeper. You choose. Stay strong in your legs, guys. Stay strong in your legs. Yeah, reach out with your right hand. Take the block to the outside of your foot now, or arm to thigh if this is too much. A variation extended side angle. Stay with me. It's a hip opening thing. Left arm reaches up or wraps forward. Grip the right hip. So the same action, the block and where the hand is just changed a little. Strong angle with your left leg. Look up a little. It may help. And if your arm is reaching forward, there's a wrapping of your bicep down. And my arm is straight like an arrow. Watch the right hip. Just a few more breaths. You're doing great. Look down, circle both hands to frame your front foot. Let your left heel pop up. Drop your knee down. Listen carefully. Turn your right foot out to the corner. Mine's going out a little to the right. If you can do that, that's great. Slide the left palm flat or your hand to a block or your forearm down. Reach the right arm back, grab the ankle. Yeah, roll to the outer blade of your right foot. So let the right foot lift up and roll to the outer blade. So your right thigh drops open a little bit or a lot. Your hand is a little bit in front of you, and then look back. Yeah, and if you can't grab your foot, you could just have your arm reaching back like this. This is fine. Or you can kick your foot up and you can just kind of hover here. There's something for everybody. If you want to try flexing your foot and letting your back foot kind of fall into your hand as your right thigh drops open, stay with it a little bit more. There's a turning of your upper ribs. Good, let go of your back foot. Bring the right hand down, turn the right foot forward, activate your left leg, step to a tight plank, regular plank. Bend your elbows in half for a Chaturanga hold. Drag yourself through a nice smooth up dog. Recurl your toes to Chaturanga if this is available. Re-straighten your arms to a plank, hips up and back, downward facing dog. I know, just too much fun. Your feet are separated in regular down dog. Your hands walk in so your thumbs touch. This can be done on your forearms as well, okay? Float the left leg up, hip height. If it only can lift a little because you feel your balance is kind of taking it, then just do that. But hip height is where we're going. Hug the right hip firmly in, activate your left leg. Breathe. Good, keep all that, look forward. As you come forward, land your left foot to the outside of your left baby finger. It's kind of like a wide position, like you're setting up for lizard. Keep your left palm down and the left toes forward. Turn the back foot strong, but on an angle, and you're gonna set up for a extended angle B from the ground up. Yeah, so you use a block if you need to, and then stretch the right arm straight up. Yeah. If this is too much this morning, your arm can always rest on your thigh. This is a great alternative. Even if you do this twice, something is happening. Grip your left hip strong. Yeah. Turn the bottom ribs, look up. If you want to add an arm variation, hand to your hip and open up your shoulder, or wrap your hand around and see if you can grab your inner thigh and twist. On every exhale breath, it's almost like the next new breath is a restart. So just see what you can find. Broadening of your collar and your chest as you look up a little bit more. If you added an arm variation, just extend your right arm up, anchor through your feet and legs, and without too much bounce, pull up warrior two. And iron it out here. Maybe the stance needs to go a little wider. Your torso straight up and down. Your inner thigh is rolling open. Your arms are nice and energetic. Close your eyes and hold. Your body in space as you hold it up. Drive the feet into the mat. Lengthen the tailbone down. And arrive into the pose. Keep the strong shape in your legs. Look forward with your eyes. Reach out with your left hand. Slide it to the outside of your foot. Reach the right arm up or wrap it forward. You can also use a block here. I mostly need a block. Having it down directly to the floor is just like a little too much. So get here, find the block or your arm to the top of the thigh. Same action with your legs. Same action with the right arm, straight up or wrap it forward. And then look up. And notice what happens to your mind as you hold the pose. Yeah. Connection of the outer part of the left leg with the inside of the left arm. 3 more breaths. You should be feeling something juicy. Hold. Looks good, Tracy. Look down, circle both hands to the floor, right heel peels off. It's how you started in this low lunge, right? Drop your back knee down, everybody, so the leg is on an angle. Turn your left toes out, even just an inch or a half an inch will be fine. Right palm goes flat or to a block, or the forearm can come down. Roll to the outer blade of this left foot. This may be where you stay today. Left arm could reach back. Reach for the foot, maybe you can get hold of your ankle. I'd rather you stay up really high, right? So Julie, block, you can even place it up really, really high and just be like this. And this is gonna keep you out of your low back. And then roll. So this is like a whole other thing happening with the outer hip. Roll to the outer blade of that foot, even an inch or two, and let the thigh get heavy and drop open. Stay with it. Last little bit, if you wanna flex your back foot, yeah, let your foot get heavy into your hand. See if that changes it. Release the foot, place both hands to the floor, straighten out your front left toes, activate your back leg, step to a tight plank. Bend your elbows in half to a version of Chaturanga that works. Pull yourself through a nice up dog, point your toes. If you wanna add the Chaturanga, recurl the toes, Chaturanga, press up plank, meet me in a downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog today, step your right foot back forward into this low lunge. Right foot forward, hip grips in. I'm gonna place my block in its highest setting this morning and focus strongly on my right hip as I pop up to half moon. The goal is to keep your right foot and your hip forward. Front right leg is like Tadasana. Left arm extends up if you're adding on. If you need to go to a wall, you lean back into a wall. If the block's too high, lower it. Yeah. If you fall from the posture, welcome to the yoga practice. Take the bottom hip, yeah, hug it underneath you and find extension. Today's practice would be nice to add a Chopasana, but it's not necessary if you don't have that. So you just bend at your knee crease if you want to play. Left hand will reach back. You'll grab your ankle. The kick goes behind you, not up towards the sky. So I'm kicking into my fire. Soften behind the right knee, maybe get lighter in your bottom hand. Any variation that works for you. Your hand can even be on your hip. Turn the bottom ribs and then see if you can try and look up. If you took a bind, release into regular half moon. Do it slow. Look to the floor, take both hands down to the earth, fingertips down, square your hips. Take about a 3-foot step back. Yeah, so your left foot steps back like a tight warrior one. Both legs are straight, hands come to your hips, pull yourself up. We're gonna work it out here. Walk your right foot a little to the right, right hand on your hip, Left arm extends up, back foot is totally forward pretty much. Inhale the breath, stretch up. Exhale, come halfway. You must soften behind your right knee a little. And then twisting triangle, here we go. A block is great. If you don't have the block, I'll show you what to do. Block to the instep of the foot if it's there for you. Hand on the flat part of your back. If you don't have the block, your hand just rests on your shin. Anchor through your hand and your shin. Lengthen the spine, look to the right, and begin your twist. Yeah, you got it. Feel like someone's got you by your hips and they're pulling you back. Yeah. Looks really nice, guys. I can see some body parts moving in the right direction. Stay with it. Steer the hips back, anchor through your legs, twist a little deeper. Look down, take both hands to frame your right foot. Walk your right foot to the center of the mat. Spring your left foot forward so the feet line up or can have a little separation. Sit into chair pose, weight into your heels. Slide your hands to a prayer, pray for yourself. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, take it to the right. So as you take your elbow to the outside of your right thigh, you kind of have to hook it in there, but make sure your feet, your shins, and your knees stay lined up. Very important. Same action as twisting triangle. The weight kind of moves back and the spine moves forward, and then you open up your arms if you want more. Twist open. Look up, yeah, or just look to the side. Dig down a little deeper as you twist a little bit more into the pose. Feel the weight moving into your heels. Pull around to chair. Look forward with your eyes. Really sit into a strong chair. Keep sitting, keep sitting, keep sitting. Lower your butt all the way down. Reach your legs up to a 90-degree angle. Arms can be straight up towards the sky today. Hands can also come down and brace the floor. You may find a little bit more support here. My legs have a bend behind them. That's fine. If you can go straight, that's great, but I'm not aiming for that today. Arms can just reach up. Breathe. So as you start to lower to an Arda Navasana, which is a half boat, everyone's is going to look a little different. So as you come down, the shoulder blades don't touch the ground. The legs stay lifted either 90 degrees, halfway. Most intense will be to hover and flex the feet. Lift through your core, not through your neck. Drive the arms either forward or up towards the sky is going to create more intensity. Reach the arms back forward, press down, pull yourself up. Boat Navasana, it may not be pretty. Broaden across the shoulders and the chest, arms can reach forward. Scoop out the belly, cross the ankles, you can step, you can float through a vinyasa. You can also just crawl back. Upward facing dog could feel good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your down dog, land your left foot forward to a low lunge and just pause. Yeah, left foot stays forward. Hip's gonna do a lot of work here. Reach for a block, any height. Float up, half moon. Yeah, if you don't have a block, you can use anything to bring the floor up to you. Bottom ribs turn a little, stack the two arms, look up with your eyes. If you're falling, you just restart again. Not a big deal. If you want to add in the Chopasana, bend behind the knee, maybe grab your ankle. The kick goes behind you. Soften behind the left knee, get lighter in your bottom hand. That's going to help a lot. Two more. Release the top leg if you took any funky variations, regular half moon. The transition is its own deal. So look down, right hand comes to the floor, square your hips first, and then take about a 3-foot step back. Walk your left foot to the left, hands to your hips, and pull yourself up. And then you take a second to work out your feet. They should be about 3 to 4 feet in length and hips width distance. Back foot turned forward. Left hand on your hip, Right arm extends up, find that extension, soften behind your left knee as you come down, and then find your twisting triangle. Once again, if you don't have a block, you just anchor your hand into your shin. This is actually super great for building leg strength. And then your hand could just be on the flat part of your back and you twist open. Top arm doesn't have to go up either. You pick. Press strong through your back leg. Grip your left hip firmly underneath you. Feel like someone's got you by your hips. Yeah, they're pulling you back and your spine is moving you forward. Twist a little deeper. Stay with it. One more big breath in. Look down, take both hands to frame your front foot, scoot your left foot to the center, spring your right foot forward, come to the fingertips, and then sit into chair. Just go right for it. Yeah, weight in your heels, drag your hands to your hips, inhale your breath, hook the elbow and twist. Just want to remind you, this is a pose that, like, if your lower back is really sensitive, sometimes going too deep is going to aggravate it. So I'd rather you focus more on the support of the lower half of the body and less with the twist. So if that's happening to you in this pose, just stay upright, right? And only twist a little. If you're okay in the lower back department, get in there. Make sure the two knees, the shins, and the feet stay together though and lined up. Open up your arms if you want more. Look up if you can. When you want to give up, breathe. Move the weight into your heels. Keep the weight there. Energy back. Chair pose. Dig down in your chair. Look forward with your eyes. Shoot up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Stand for a second. So if you do have blocks, have them at the top of your mat. I'm actually just going to turn towards you so you can follow along better. So you stay as you are. Left leg strong. Right leg bends into tree pose. Tree pose. Hips hug in, hands come to prayer. Listen, if your foot is pressing into the inside of your knee, this is not a good spot for it to be. Either have it down in the calf, keep it lower, or even on the floor, or have it up higher. Grip the hips. Grow the branches of your tree if you want to. Our snowy branches, we have no branches. I can't even tell what we have out there. Anticipate to fall in any of these balancing poses. Stay with this, guys. So what's going to happen now is you're going to float to your right foot an inch or two away from your left thigh. It's not a large motion. If your hands need to come to your hips, you're welcome to do so. Keeping them up is going to be more. It's going to look like this. Your right toes point towards the ground, and you're just hovering your foot. You're hovering it. Your hip is open a little, but you haven't moved your pelvis at all. Start to bend your left leg a little. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh and sit like you're sitting into a chair pose, but you're an ankle to knee. Stick your butt back far. Bring your hands to prayer. Sit a little deeper. Get in there. Hook the elbows in front of the shins, in front of your right shin. Yes. Steer your hips back. Weight moves into your heels. This is ankle to knee prep. If you want to fly, you're welcome to do so. Your hands will come down. I'm not interested in that stuff today, but if you want to go there, by all means, take a ride. Hands can also rest on these blocks. Right. You can also move yourself to a wall and have your butt. Imagine my fireplace was a wall. My butt would just be resting on it. Create a little up dog in your chest if your hands are like mine. Good. Keep bending into your standing left leg. Stay with this. Breathe. Flex the right foot strong. If you're flying, meet us back here. And then try to really do this slow. Hands to your hips, press to stand, lower the right foot, stand tall. Just stand for a second. Leave it behind. Right leg strong, left leg comes up. I have to use my hand to do it. Get yourself into a tree. Any variation that works. Hands can come to prayer, hands can stay on your hips. you can grow your branches. What's important is your alignment. Your outer hips hug in. The moments that you can be still in these poses, enjoy them. Use your breath and just feel. Good, so your arms can stay up this morning or your hands can come to prayer, you pick. Float the left foot an inch or two away from your right thigh, point your toes down. The shape hasn't really changed at all, so my hip just opens a tiny bit, but my pelvis is still forward. Keep the lift of that left thigh, don't let it drop. Bend your right leg enough that you can start to slide your left leg over and then continue your destination of sitting into this chair, ankle to knee. Slide your hands to a prayer. Keep sitting. You may even need to feel like you have to steer your left thigh. You may even want to use your hand back a little. Come down. I like this. You're going to use the back of your triceps to get in there. Yeah, so keep bending, keep bending. You got it, Trace. Weight moves into your heel, and then maybe your hands even need to rest on something, or you need to move yourself towards a wall. You could sit on the bed, on the couch, a little up dogging your upper shoulder blades, and then just be here. A few more breaths. This pose is needed so badly in so many ways for all of us. If you're flying, good for you, but come back here. Hands to your hips at the same time, press up to stand, lower your left foot down, stand tall. Good, stand at the top of your mat. A little bit more, we're almost done. Sweep your arms straight up towards the sky, dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog feels pretty good. Yeah, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your right foot forward, crescent lunge. Here we go. All the work is done here. Hands come to prayer. Inhale that breath, hook the elbow, take it to the right. If you get here, you feel unstable, you feel tired, drop your knee, cut yourself some slack. Use the elbow like you did in a bunch of other poses to kind of get in there. Grip the outer hips in, lengthen the spine, and twist open. Open up your arms if you want a little more. You may even feel good and you want to take a half bind. You can wrap your hand around and grab your outer hip. Maybe you want to take a full bind. My arms are too short for that. Lean back so the crown of the head lines up with your back left heel. Activate your back left leg more, twist. Two more. Look down, place both hands to the floor, pause. Activate your arms, make like you're going into a half pigeon, but hover the leg. So you're hovering your right leg and your shin is kind of on an angle. Yeah, land the right knee down, half pigeon pose, fold. Straighten yourself out so your left thigh turns towards the ground, yeah. Let your body just melt. Good, as you come up slow, hands directly underneath the shoulders, just like you got in, curl the toes, activate the leg, right shin draws in on an angle, and then step it back to a plank. If you wanna take a vinyasa, bend your elbows in half, pull yourself through a clean up dog, Hips up and back, down dog. Stay with me, guys. Just one more side. Land your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Hands come to prayer. Inhale that breath. Lean out enough that you can hook the elbow in there and twist. Good. If you need to drop your knee, drop it down. No one cares. Yeah. Get in there. Activate the back leg if it's staying strong and keep the weight moving forward. Scissor the outer hips in, twist. Open up your arms to add any element of intensity that you want. Add a half bind. If you're going to take a full bind, your right hand will wrap around and you'll reach, yeah, through the space. Lean back a little bit more and get in there. Stay with it. Just a few more breaths. Grip that left hip, twist open. Look down, place both hands to floor. So do this deliberately. Activate your arms, activate your core. Make your left leg on an angle like you're in a half pigeon, but just kind of hovering in space. Look forward with your eyes and then land it straight down, half pigeon. Rotate your right side of the ground and come down and let yourself just melt. So if your mind's starting to wander, whatever it is that you have to do next, give yourself this last 5 minutes. Just be present for you. So hard, but so good. Hands directly underneath the shoulders. Firm up the arms. So Julie, you could just work yourself onto your back if you want. Activate your leg, float the left leg, hover the leg like we got in. Step the foot back to plank. Bend your elbows in half to Chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Last time, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look in between your hands, hop your feet through. Grab your blocks if you want them and lay down. You made it to the floor. Yeah, officially. Bend your knees in half, fingertips skim the backs of your heels. Lift your tailbone up, slide your arms. You kind of want to scoop up your shoulders a little. Interlace hands, robot-like arms, such as I'm showing. Or if you're feeling like you just want to chill, take a block underneath your lower back and enjoy a version of more restorative. Any which way you pick, your feet and your legs are moving forward. Yeah. So most of you are in a variation that's just with a block or a bridge, which is fine. So we'll add on from here. If you'd like to go for a full wheel, you can come down from that, set yourself up by flipping your palms, bringing your chin to your chest and lifting yourself up. If you're in more of the chill variation with a block underneath your lower back, or even if you don't have a block, good. You can extend your legs straight up. Obviously, your legs go straight up and you don't have a block, your lower back has to go down to the floor. If you are in a block with your legs straight up, see if you can kind of shimmy your shoulder blades a little bit more together. And then breathe your legs up and hold. If you're in a full wheel, that's great. You can lower it down, take a breath, and try one more. So this is kind of stimulating legs up the wall, which is great for releasing lactic acid in our legs, flushing ourselves out. Good. If you're in a full wheel, you'll come out nice and slow. If your legs are straight up, do this first. Bend them in half. Take one foot to the floor first. Anchor it. Take the other foot to the floor. Good. Once they come down, lift your tailbone up just enough, just a little, and slide anything out from underneath. Lower down slow. Take your feet to the width of the mat and let your knees knock in. Perfect. I always find that people get injured in the moments that you don't expect. So we have to move slow and be respectful. Good. So you're just in this wide position with your feet and your knees knocking in. Reach down, grab the outer blades of your feet for a happy baby. Pull the knees down around the rib cage. Melt the lower back down and feel the upper shoulder blades down on the ground as well. Hug your knees firmly in, wrap them tight. Scoot your hips an inch to the left and drop your knees to the right. Take your right hand on the flat part of your left thigh and cactus your left arm. So the two legs are together for this twist. It's very subtle. Roll to center. You have to move your hips to the right a little. Drop your legs in the same line of energy. Left hand presses on the right thigh. Right arm drops open. You look a little right. Come up to center. One last squeeze in and set yourself up for Shavasana, the hardest pose to master at home, the most advanced posture, Shavasana, complete rest. Nothing left to do but be still. Let your Ujjayi breath go. Quiet your central nervous system and drop down. Draw in a full, deep inhale breath. A full, loud, complete exhale breath. If you need more time, just, lay there. Hug your knees to your chest. Give them a big squeeze in. And in your own way, you rock yourself up to a seated position. And if you can, I test you to keep your eyes closed and just stay in this physical moment. Come up to seat, sit up nice and tall. Have some closure with this awesome practice this morning. You guys rocked it. Hands come to prayer at your heart. Bow your head for a moment. So the gesture of gratitude, really pretty powerful. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. As always, guys, it's a pleasure to teach you. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you soon.